hub at Centerpoint on Remount Road in North Charleston creates collaborative spaces where relationships are formed. Today, I talk one-on-one with the director of the hub at Centerpoint, Kristin Parker, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Kristin Parker, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here today.
Oh, you're very welcome. You know, you are the director of the hub at Centerpoint, which is an old historic church on Remount Road in North Charleston that has actually been transformed into a creative working space for co-working spaces, obviously. Let me ask you, what's new? What's now at the hub at Centerpoint?
So we have been, there has been a new leadership team here at the church side. So the church is actually called Centerpoint Church at Remount. Okay. And there's a new, very diverse leadership team here. And the heart of that leadership team is to use the space that we have in this community to be a welcoming place for the community to come. And so the hub at Centerpoint has partnered with Centerpoint Church at Remount. And we manage all of the space here. And we make the space available for the community to use for their purposes.
So what purposes are there for the community right now?
Sure. So our we offer office spaces, co-working space, private offices, conference rooms to our community, and we set our prices accessible and affordable so that people can come. We really do want the community to come in. Of course, you know, when you're doing business, there are fees, there's things that we have to charge, but our prices are set in a way that makes them accessible to everyone. And so as far as your question, people can come and nonprofits can work from here, businesses can work from here. Also, we have a large event space the church building looks very old and traditional, but actually the inside has been completely transformed. So we have an event space for up to 300 people that can be multi-purpose and used for round tables with chairs, can be used for concerts. We actually have a prom this Saturday night in our space.
Wow, that's amazing. I've never attended a prom, so that's amazing. But let me ask you this, Kristin.
Yeah.
So how many nonprofits do you have right now in that space, and how many businesses do you actually have in that space?
Yeah. Oh, well, great question. We have so we share space with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We share space with 7 other nonprofits that have their permanent location here, and then we have about another 10 nonprofits, and in that nonprofit number there would be businesses as well, nonprofits and businesses that use our space for co-working. But we do have plenty more space for co-working if our community has need.
So how many spaces do you have left for those people in the community that actually need your space?
Yeah, so as far as private office space, right now, that is full, which is great, but sorry to say that it's full. But we do have what we call designated desks, and so that's like a shared office. We have 3 of those available, and then we have plenty of room for people that just want to co-work, meaning we are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We have free coffee, free Wi-Fi, and it's, there's many places to sit, large tables, small tables. You can sit by yourself, you can sit with others. And actually, our price for that is only $65 per month for up to 2 people in an organization.
Wow. So as far as your goal, how many permanent businesses do you want in that space?
Permanent businesses. Well, as far as permanent businesses, we probably only have 1 or 2 more spaces where we can have permanent businesses, meaning like they have a private office. But we'd love to see, 15, 20, 25 more share co-working space with us. And we definitely would love for the community to use our large event space for their purposes.
So besides the prom, oh yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And besides the prom, who else is requesting for that event space right now?
Yeah, well, we love it. It's bringing so many relationships to us that we never had before. So I'm not sure if you know, but there is a large Sudanese population in our community, 250 Sudanese people, in fact. And so they had their community party here a couple Saturdays ago. We've also had engagement parties here. We had the Filipino community. They had a singing competition here. And actually in April, they're also having their like a professional Filipino singer coming, and that's open to the public. And then we have the North Charleston Cultural Arts Department is having a few plays here. And we have bridal showers, baby showers, graduation parties, Christmas parties. So we just love it because it brings in the community to us, and we get to meet our community and hopefully meet a need that our community has as well.
So, what are the current needs along the Remount Road corridor?
Well, unfortunately, Remount Road does not have the best reputation right now. A lot of times people think about Remount Road and they think about an area with high crime, a lot of drug activity, homelessness, and those things are still here. And we are trying to be a resource to the people that need it we really do want to be help to those in need. So there's many needs for Remount, but actually what we're doing, so we do have our space, but our bigger vision is to be a part of community transformation. And by bringing people in, we build relationships with those in our community who then we can know what's going on in our community so we can use and share our resources better. And so what we're trying to do for Remount Road is we're doing a lot of asset-based community development. And what that means is we're really looking at our community and seeing what assets and what good things are here. Because even though a lot of times Remount Road does get a bad rap and it's known for the things that aren't great about it, we know that there's a lot of great things here. So one of the things we're doing is a social media campaign called Discover Remount, and every week we are highlighting a different business that's on Remount Road so that people can see the great things that are here. And I will say we have some of the best Mexican food trucks in all of North Charleston. So if you want good Mexican food, tacos, burritos, enchiladas, you can definitely find that on Remount Road.
Oh yes, I've been over there for work many times and seen a lot of the food trucks over there. So that's just really, really amazing. So let me ask you this. What are those other community needs right now that you're actually helping with the resources that you have?
Yes, well, I'm so glad you asked that. So we have this amazing opportunity to build a platform for our community that's called Envision. And one of the things, so we do not offer, besides offering our space, we at the Hub at Centerpoint don't offer any direct services, meaning we don't take care of people's direct needs like clothing or housing. But what our mission is it's all about collaboration. It's all about using the resources that are already here and connecting them and connecting the people in need to those resources. And so as we were really seeking the way that we could serve our community and take care of our community's needs, we saw that we wanted to be like the catalyst for collaboration. And we have this opportunity to work with a software development company to build something that's called Envision. And we are building it for Charleston. Ideally, it will go nationwide, but it is the first software of its kind. It's actually just a web-based application, so you can just go online to envisionforme.com, and it's free for the participant or the person in need, and it's also free for service providers. But basically, it's the first of its kind software that is being built for a person in need. Often things are being built for a nonprofit or service providers. They have access to resources, but for a person in need, they're often left to wonder, where do I find help? And it's just very overwhelming, and the space is very noisy. So as we do know, people in our community do have varied needs, as you were asking about needs. They have holistic needs, housing, childcare, food, clothing, better jobs, more like financial literacy, education, things like that. So we are well aware that there are wonderful organizations in our community that are doing these things already. So what Envision does is it allows a person in need to go on and create a free profile. As they build on their profile, they just give very basic information about themselves, and they give their address, and then they will click on the things that they need: childcare, food, housing. Based on their address, the list of resources will come up, that tells them what the resources that are closest to them that can meet those needs for them. But after that, then a to-do list is built for them that tells them, if these are the things you need and these are the resources that sound like a good fit for you, here's the things you need to do in the order that you need to do them in. And then they'll have an opportunity to connect with other nonprofits and service providers inside of the application. As well, once they complete items on their to-do list, then they're actually rewarded for their accomplishment. We're really seeking to give people a hand up and not a hand out, and to say, if you really are seeking to have a better life and we want to be able to equip you to be able to do that. And so businesses in our community can offer rewards such as, as simple as, a free meal at their restaurant, or 2 hockey tickets, 2 movie tickets. And it could even go all the way up to a scholarship for college. It can go up to an internship or a mentorship. And so based on the number of accomplishments that you complete and envision, and basically helping yourself get out of poverty or cycles of poverty, then you are rewarded with accomplishment points that you can spend for the rewards offered by the businesses. So this is a way that we can take the already existing resources, businesses, nonprofits, educational organizations, government organizations, and put them all together and give all of those resources into the participants' hands, the person in need that really desires a better life, more economic stability, and family betterment. So we're really hoping that we can offer this great gift to our community.
So how many people do you expect to sign up for this?
As far as service providers or participants?
Oh, participants, I should say.
Yeah, we don't have a number. We hope that it literally will be for the whole community, whoever needs it. There's no minimum, there's no maximum. What we're focusing on right now, and what we would love the community's support on, is it is a free application. And so in order for it to really be the robust resource that we want for our city, we need the service providers. If you're a service provider and you want people to be able to access your services easily, then we want you on Envision. And then if you're a business in our community that would love to be a part of helping people, and like I said, giving them a hand up instead of a hand out, and really rewarding people for accomplishing things, we would love to talk to those businesses as well. And then if you are a participant in need of something, we would love for them to go on and create a free account. The application is up and running. It is usable, but it is not ready yet for, it's not robust yet. We need the help of the community.
Yes, ma'am. And you talk about the community, and I know you don't probably have this particular answer, but when you think about Rion Road, Kristin, what are the demographics there?
I actually do know the answer to that, because we've done a lot of research and really do want to know our community. So we actually have, ethnically, we have about a third African American, a third Caucasian, and a third Latino. And we're actually one of the most diverse areas, like in a 2-mile radius right around here. We're one of the more diverse areas in all of the greater Charleston area. We're also, so racially, we're diverse. Also socioeconomically, it's a very diverse area, just a few mile radius. There is a large percentage of those who are living below the poverty line in our radius as well. But we also do have a diverse group, like diverse socioeconomic statuses as well.
Absolutely.
And language as well.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would imagine so. So, obviously, as you know, Kristin, the Charleston area is growing tremendously. So how does the hub keep up that growth with smart growth?
Ooh, well, that's a great question. We know that as Charleston grows, there will be, that brings with it a lot of wonderful things. It also brings with it a lot of challenges. So I would say it depends on which angle I take your question. But if I'm thinking about how we can help be a support to those in our community that are in need, as Charleston grows, it does create even a more challenging situation for housing. It creates a more challenging situation for those that are seeking to find housing. And so I do believe that this Envision application is going to help us with growth, because it's a digital application. And so as as it grows and as we get more participation from service providers and the different organizations that are already in our community, we'll be able to continue to grow and continue to be a resource for those in need in whatever areas they need. And then we'll be able to include businesses in that. And then, I just hope that we have no cap on the only cap on our space is when we just don't have it anymore. But we do hope that it's like, when it's full, but we do hope that it's full to capacity. So we do hope we can keep being a blessing to our community in that way as well.
And how many service providers do you need right now?
Well, we have 16 different categories of service, and we are seeking to have at least 3 service providers in each of those categories before we do what we are planning our soft launch in September. Like I said, you can go on the application now, but we really want it to be more robust before we fully advertise it to our community. Because what we don't want to be is another place that makes big promises to people and is not able to deliver. Our values center around transparency and integrity, and so we want to do the best we can to ensure that the application that we are providing to our community is, in fact, able to meet the demands that are going to be put on it. And so we have this goal to have at least 3 service providers in every category. We have at least 1 in most categories right now, and we can actually add service providers' information without them adding it, but that's not what our preferred method. We really want service providers that have chosen to be on the application, and so yeah, we would be looking for, let's say, at least 30 other service providers would be minimum, but we really can take as many as in Charleston. That's who we want.
That's exactly right. And Kristin, let me go back, because I was just thinking about this throughout the entire interview when it comes to the hub at Centerpoint, because I want to know this: what other churches in the Low Country are actually using the model that you all are using?
In the Low Country, there are a couple that I'm aware of that are using their building creatively for other purposes. I am not aware of anyone that's using their building in the same way that we are. But there are several others in our area. Actually, there's a couple right here in Park Circle that are using they're using their building for schools, like alternative schools, and things like that. And however, we do hope that we could be a model for other places, like other church buildings that have more building than they need. A lot of traditional churches, they use their building just a few hours a week, and then it sits empty most of the rest of the time. So we would love to be a model for how a church family that has a large building that sits underutilized could be used more efficiently and be a blessing for their community as well.
And obviously, when you think of the hub at the Centerpoint, obviously you guys have a lot of space. So when did that extra space come available to develop this idea of co-working?
That is a great question. So over the years, as I'm sure you're familiar with the Park Circle area and some of the different, times where they had a lot of growth and then a lot of decline just generally in the area. And a lot of the decline happened after the closure of the shipyard, the naval base. And so this church building has been here since the 50s. And over the years, it faced times of really great growth as the community grew. But then as the naval shipyard was closed and as the demographics changed, there's so many reasons, good, bad, otherwise, why the church did not experience growth as well. And so, unfortunately, this particular church here over the years experienced decline. And in 2019, 2020, but not due to COVID, but just 2019, 2020, they were facing some hard decisions about if they should close their doors or not, because they just didn't have enough people to maintain this whole building and to maintain the work that they were doing. So at that time, the pastor that was there at that time, he invited a new leadership team in. And so when the new leadership team came in, that they are the ones who saw the vast amount of space that was built because at one time in history, the church needed this space or wanted this much space, but for many years it just had sat underutilized. And so they said they were the ones who had the vision to say, we want this space to be used for the community. So the answer is that for a long time it sat underutilized, not utilized, just underutilized. And then there were times where the whole thing was utilized. Then there was times where it was underutilized. And then when we took over, it did need a lot of renovation, a lot of renovation. It had a lot of delayed maintenance because just due to the situation of the church not being very large and not having many members. And so we came in and did the renovation, and the church had the vision to partner with the hub at Centerpoint for us to manage the space and to use it as fully as we can for the community. We said our vision statement at the hub at Centerpoint is transformed communities where everyone has what they need because everyone shares what they have. And we wanted to say to our community, what we have to share is our space. And so we want to offer our space to you. Come on in and share with us in our community what you have. And so, yeah, that's what it was, just not utilized. And then the new leadership team with the new vision had the vision of making it utilized.
So now that you have the hub at the Centerpoint at the church, how many more members have been added to the congregation as a result of the hub being there?
I'm not so sure if it's as a result of the hub being here. That question I'm not sure, okay. But I can tell you that we have about 100 members or 100 people that attend every Sunday morning at church. And we would welcome more people to come to the services at 10 a.m. As I mentioned in the beginning, the church family is a very diverse church family. Our senior lead pastor is African American. We have several Caucasian pastors on staff, and we have one Spanish-speaking pastor from Costa Rica on staff as well. So we welcome diversity, and we love to celebrate diversity at our church.
Oh, absolutely. And how do you keep that diversity going in the church and with the hub 5-10 years from now?
Intentionality. Intentionality and open discussions and genuine relationships. We actually think that there is beauty in diversity. We believe that God created people diverse for a reason, and it brings Him glory. The different cultures and cultures of the world bring Him glory in different ways. And so we want to celebrate that, but it does take intentionality. It takes like a willingness to listen and to learn and to understand where people are coming from and the history that we are walking into. We don't want to just, be like, oh, we're all the same, because we're not all the same. Like, we're all equal. Totally. But we're not all the same. We have different ways we think about things, different things that are important to us. And that's true for races as well as it is for socioeconomic classes. And it's true for just people from different countries. And so we just want to listen. We want to learn. We want to be people who learn and listen and who are willing to make sacrifices to understand people that are different from us. And so, yeah, it's going to take, in order to see this continue to grow and for it to 5-10 years from now to still be focused on diversity, it's going to take a lot of intentionality, but you know what, the more that we do it and the more people that we are in relationship with that are diverse and different from us, the more beautiful it is and the more we're able to appreciate differences. And I think it's just kind of contagious. I want to know more about different cultures and different people. So I hope that we can continue to pass that on to the people that we relate with here.
Well, I know you have to run, but I really thank you so much for your time here on Quintin's Close-Ups, Kristin Parker. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. And if I can do anything for you or for our community in the future, please reach out.
We definitely will. Thank you so much.